Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio. We give you a verbal image of life, and we are every day. People like to welcome you all to the show. Look, I just want to say that the first objective in dealing with the black and white current situation, starting back 400 years ago, the first objective for black people was peace. But I'm starting to, as you do research, I'm starting to see that the colonizer, he took black people wanting peace for weakness. He took black people wanting peace as if black people were afraid. And he didn't understand that in the nature of the black man, peace is always sought after first, right? You can go all the way in historical times. Why? Because the black man was never the aggressor, but he fought when he was aggressed upon, right? Think about it. Here go colonizers who would rape the black man's wife, right? Rape his daughter, right? Hang his son, burn his farm and his animals and his horses, and leave him there with nothing, right? And what was his response? Lord, forgive them, because they know not what they are doing, right? Then, black man on the sidewalk, heading one direction. The white man on the sidewalk, heading in a direction to where they both getting ready to cross paths. Black man would step to the side on the street or to the side to let the white man have the sidewalk. Right. In that situation, black man wanted to communicate. Maybe he had a grievance or he wanted to do a business transaction. So he'd take his hat off, wouldn't look the white man in his eye, and he fumble with his hat, and he'd take all the bass out of his voice so he wouldn't seem threatening to the white man. And that still wasn't good enough. Black man been dealing with brutality since the colonizer formed posses to catch runaways. Then later on, that became your modern day police department, right? As it evolved. And yet, and still, the colonizer didn't understand that the black man wasn't afraid. His first objective is to seek peace. Okay, let's be on our best behavior, because maybe if we are on our best behavior, then he'll see our point of view, the killing will stop, and we can all be brothers and sing Kumbaya. As time progressed, it was still more of the same. More of the same discrimination. More of the same racism. More of the same systemic racism. Just on and on and on and on until one point, it's like, look, I'm not being extra nice and putting up with all this abuse because I'm afraid or I'm weak. I'm putting up with it hoping that maybe this will lead to a path of peace. But after so much amount of time has passed, then reality starts to set in. And then you understand, wait a minute, there's a good percentage of the population out of the colonizer's family that will never accept me or treat me as an equal. Okay, it's starting to seep in now. Okay, we get it, but we tried every method. We'll stand with our hat in our hand. We'll get off the sidewalk if you coming down the sidewalk. We even go so far that if I'm driving, I'll drive real slow to make sure I don't pass you up. I heard tales of a laugh box in Tennessee, to where they didn't want black people laughing out in public, so they would have to run to a laugh box and laugh in the barrel. So many idiotic treatment that was carved out of the colonizer's mind, right? Because it brought me to something, and this came from Gail, Oprah's friend, and she does her show on CBS in the mornings, right? And when 2 cops from Compton were shot while sitting in their patrol car, and then they glanced and showed these 2 white men beating a young black male who was a passenger in a vehicle. The girlfriend said they just dropped off the rental car and they were traveling home. The person who picked them up, tail light was out. And so the officers came to the passenger door and asked the passenger for ID and wanted him to step out the car. But yet they didn't go to the driver, they went to the passenger. Now, this case is still unfolding, right? Now, you gotta watch yourself, because it came out that he had several warrants out for his arrest. Could be traffic violations and whatnot. And yet, they were saying that he wasn't stopped. The car wasn't stopped due to any of the warrants that the young man had, who was a passenger in the car, stating that the police officers didn't know he had warrants out for his arrest, right? This is where you got to be careful, because you got to take care of your business, because they'll spend it and say, hey, he had warrants. We had a picture up. We recognized his face off a picture. We swooped in an attempt to make an arrest, blah, 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 because they got game. That's why you have to be on point, man. You have to be on point, i.e. you have to be on your post every day in this situation. A lot of black men, you walking around aimlessly as if you don't know what time it is and where you are standing. What field are you on? And you don't even you don't recognize it. You still thinking it's, I'm finna blow me a couple of sweets and cruise through the neighborhood and bump me some music. No, it's not that time. No, it's not that time. So Gail said something interesting. She said both are extreme, meaning the person who shot 2 police officers at Compton, sitting in the car, a female and a male, and the 2 white cops who brutally, savagely beat the young black male, right? All the killings that was taking place by the police against unarmed black men. When you have 2 of the extremes, that means that one situation or that one mindset, let's say, that one where you go with mindset? That one mindset of hate, right? Hate to the point to where I see that melanated skin and that colonizer want to put a bullet in it. And then the extreme mindset of hate is, I'm so tired of these police killing black men to where I feel the need or the urge to do something about it. And that's what some people are saying. Now, one thing what white people don't understand is the power of melanin, because melanin communicates. So when you unjustly, because you got to remember, we are people of justice, so we will always seek justice. That's why when there's no justice, there's no peace. So a people of justice who will monitor a situation, and if the punishment fits the crime, then black people are like, well, yeah, okay, you know, you're going to get that because you did that. But when you didn't do that, or if what you did was such on a minute scale, on a minor scale, then what's the purpose for the heavy-handed force? So what that happens is you got people who can't stand and watch another melanated person tortured. All right. It's to a point to where it's starting to become sickening. It's almost like you can't reason, you know, with some of these officers, because, you know, we see on TV, YouTube, whatnot, people filming white people actually chasing police officers, fighting police officers, cussing police officers out, getting in their car, driving off, and the police don't even give chase. That wakes black people up saying, wait a minute, and I've been getting my ass kicked by police since I could remember, and this white guy did something 100 times worse than I've done, and they smile and laugh and play together. You know, what hell? What kind of shit is this, right? So then we come to the conclusion. And the conclusion is, it is what it is. You know, you want to visualize a brighter day, but with that visualization comes the work within it, and also the spiritual work to see something of that magnitude, right? Is it possible? It's hard to say, man, at this point. I mean, with the presidential election and everything that's going on, it's actually hard. And COVID-19, it's hard to give a positive outlook on the near future. I don't know about the distant future, but the near future with all these earthquakes and fires burning and just wiping out whole towns, and people still don't get the message. They really don't understand what's going on. You hear them announcing and talking about climate change. I mean, there's a change that has already started. It's already changing. And you have to ask yourself, which side are you going to be on? You know, me personally, you know, hey, I can rough it. You know, how many of you still have those old traditional ways that you were taught, the means to survive, you know, on what you had, and you made sure, you know, that it would work and it would help those that were in need or who needed your help. You know, we got to get back to that mindset and start building and creating things, because nobody's going to do it for us. you know. So our kindness was taken for granted, which led to being enslaved and murder and whatnot. You know, well, we got to do better. Verpic Radio, we out.